The top of this tree was completely torn off. Old says then the storm moved this way, ripping down her fence and eventually blowing out her windows. By this time next year, developers say they plan to break ground on this land behind me. I'm on Chavers Place, and they say it's a maple tree, and it's split and just wreaked havoc on this neighborhood. And then when it fell, it ended up on this house over here that's now been tarped. And if you'll look here, you can see where this window was shattered in this vacant business. Just to give you guys some perspective, these are the remnants of that tree. They're half my size, but right now, they're only seeing about 3,000 to 5,000 bushels, making this year's peach crop a poor contender. And if you park outside and look at your car right now, you're probably going to notice some yellow stuff like this. If you'd like to do something nice for an educator for Teachers Appreciation Week, you can give them a handwritten card like this one.
Tresia Bowles from our station WXIA in Atlanta is in the town of Hampton with the very latest. Tresia, what do we know?
Jose, police are on the hunt for 40-year-old Andre Longmore. A typical Memorial Day weekend for Aletha Olds and her family.
It was around 7 o'clock. The kids were getting ready to go to the beach.
They're sitting in the living room, packing. Then all of a sudden, this door blew open.
My grandson grabbed the door to shut it and lock it, and he couldn't. The wind just picked him up and threw him back against it. And so I started to help him, and he screamed, "It's a tornado, run, run."
But Olds says she couldn't do it. She was frozen, terrorized with fear. So in the middle of the storm, her 20-year-old grandson, Austin, took the reins.
He grabbed me and dragged me to the bathroom, but glass was shattering everywhere. The double windows over there blew out.
Ducking glass and praying they would make it. Olds, Austin, her granddaughter, and a guest got down and crawled to the one room that has no windows.
I think that was the best place for us to get. I really do. Because there in Austin's bedroom, it picked up his furniture and threw it across the room.
They waited for the storm to pass. As if it couldn't get any scarier, they went outside and their jaw dropped again. The roof was completely torn off of this barn. Olds says it's worth $60,000 and has been in this family for generations. Look at some of the debris that's just on the floor here, and they don't have insurance.
The barn's just it's totally gone.
Despite the devastating damage, not only her family, but all of the animals in the barn and her home are okay. And Olds says she wouldn't have known what to do without her grandkids.
It's just not something you're prepared for, I guess. We were very lucky. I was just thankful they were here with me.
Broken glass, boarded up windows, beaten in doors, and bummed out business owners across Decatur's Oakhurst neighborhood.
It kind of sucks as a business owner to wake up to a call saying you've been broken into.
While crews work to put Wild Heart Salon back together again, Cortez Washington realized the problem was bigger than he thought.
I got up, got here as quick as I could, and saw that it was more than just us. It was the whole strip.
Check out this map. The crimes stretch all over Decatur from College Avenue to DeKalb Avenue. Decatur police say at least 9 businesses were victims of a smash and grab in one day. A crime they say has been on the uptick since around April. You're looking at security footage from Los Niños early this morning. 3 people are seen throwing things everywhere. And what the thieves left with is a couple of $100s from the cash registers. But the damage they left behind is much more expensive.
The door is probably going to be about $1,000, and the other door, cash register, maybe a couple $100, and the computer, I don't know yet.
Paul Newman co-owns Los Niños and Paulino, both hit early Monday morning and about half a mile apart. Still, he opened both locations as normal, determined to keep moving forward.
I feel sorry for whoever did it because they didn't really score anything. As far as I know, nobody really keeps that much cash on hand.
That same spirit seems to be spreading all over the Oakhurst neighborhood, sticking together with the hope that whoever did this learned their lesson.
It happens everywhere. It's not the neighborhood, it's the people. Just don't come back.
The cover-up is always worse than the initial mistake.
A tale of 2 different stories. The Atlanta Police Department versus Douglas County probate judge Christina Peterson. Peterson's attorney, Marvin Arrington, says he's still sifting through the 2-hour body camera footage of her arrest less than 2 days after it happened. He says something isn't adding up.
We already see inconsistencies. We know that the information that was provided to the judge is now being changed or updated.
Here's how a spokesperson for the Atlanta Police Department tells it. Thursday, around 3 in the morning, Officer Keith Wadsworth responds to a commotion outside of the Red Martini Lounge in Buckhead. There was some sort of dispute with the woman, seen here. Then Peterson allegedly screamed, interrupted the officer, and, quote, forcibly pushed the officer in the chest and kept swiping his hands away as he attempted to assist the female being escorted out. Peterson is then accused of pushing the officer again, and that's what led to her arrest. However, in the warrant, Wadsworth said under oath that he was struck, quote, with a closed fist. Plus, in the footage, you hear Wadsworth say several times,
"You just punched the cop."
"No, I did not!"
I walked over there to separate it, and I got punched. Came over, punched me.
That he's been punched.
And there is no punching or hitting of any officers.
You can see an arm here, but it's difficult to tell during the scuffle. Arrington says his client is a good Samaritan who was simply trying to break up the dispute where a man attacked a woman. He has reason to believe the commotion happened while the crowd was waiting in line by a food truck, not inside the lounge. But the story doesn't stop there. Next, Peterson spends more than an hour in a police unit, sometimes hurling profanity at Wadsworth. And refusing to identify herself.
I need your name and your date of birth.
You should have known that.
Plus, nothing came up with the finger scan. Several officers appear to try to reason with Peterson, but that's why there's an issue while processing her. Eventually, she's driven and booked into the Fulton County Jail and now faces battery against a police officer and felony obstruction of law enforcement charges. Though the body camera shows Officer Wadsworth telling Peterson she was arrested for
Disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct.
Arrington says the video and contradictions left him wanting more, and he believes it will all make sense in the end in court.
We look forward to the day of these charges being dropped.
Tresia, 11 Alive News.